All right.
Show.
Good evening. Guys, we're standing here today because the game of football is important. I'm going to read you a couple of statistics that I received today that a California High School Athletic Association posted.
About to.
There were 105 high schools that chose not to play football this fall in the state of California. Out of those 105 schools, 1,087 of their football players are ineligible for a spring sport.
Yeah, it's not showing up.
253 of those young men dropped out of high school. 64 of those young men are incarcerated.
I'm not seeing a football banquet.
85 of those young men are now gang affiliated in some way.
You're recording. Yeah. Yes, sir, he's recording.
And I say all that to say this. We've learned a lot through this year, through this pandemic, through the ups and downs of the world. What we've learned, in my opinion, in Jeff Davis County is this. The game of football presses a lot of things aside. It does not matter what socioeconomic status you come from.
Right, yes,
it doesn't matter a political party. It doesn't matter a certain set of beliefs. What it does is it unifies. The game of football unifies. And I think throughout the 2000 or the 2020 year, I think Jeff Davis County is better because of the game of football. With that being said,
yes, sir.
I want to personally thank the young men and their families that are here tonight that represent the people in this community who have enough belief in this school system to allow their young men to participate this year. I know that was as challenging of a decision as any parent could have ever made, and I thank you for that. I also want to thank our school system and our community for the decision to honor these young men at an in-person ceremony. And I thank you for that from our school system. Year 4 of our program has been the most trying yet, but it's also been the most gratifying. This football team, our school system, and community had to deal with the most significant pandemic in many years. And I feel honestly that in this community, the 2020 Jeff Davis football team has been more memorable than the pandemic we faced. I truly believe this from the bottom of my heart. Our 2020 team will go down as one of the greats in this program's history. I want to thank the Jeff Davis community for what you mean to me personally, what you mean to our coaches, and to this entire program. You handled an unfathomable situation in class and were a perfect example of how special it is to believe in and support each other.
Right. Yes, sir.
This county is the backbone of our program, and it's why we thank you for believing in our Yellow Jackets. If there was one moment throughout this season that signified that belief, it was playing a first-round playoff game on a Saturday night on a holiday weekend. And the sounds that came from our stand are something that will live in me forever. And I know we'll do the same for each one of our kids and these coaches. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This senior class is as important and as special to me as any group of kids I've ever been with. They've come up with us since they were babies. We had to teach some of them how to tie their shoes. And what they've done is they've gone down as one of the greatest class in Jeff Davis football history. They're close-knit, mature, and they treat the game of football the right way. And make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, that's why they've been rewarded like they have throughout their 4 years. They stuck it out from the beginning. And truly, parents, I know they're all yours, but they're our young men. And once again, I do believe this. They're going to go down as one of the Jeff Davis football greats. This 2020 team has overcome odds, trials, and significant injuries to complete Jeff Davis football's fourth consecutive winning season. We've tasted many thrilling victories and felt two extremely painful losses. But to me, this season will be highlighted by a few things. A 9-2 record, an undefeated home record in 2020. This football team broke a 23-year streak without a playoff win. They also broke a 23-year streak without hosting a state playoff game. And for all you statisticians out there, they're one of the top 4 statistical teams in Jeff Davis football history. I personally want to thank our superintendent, Dr. Chris Roby, our assistant superintendent, Chuck Crosby, our board chair, Roger Ogley, our board vice chair, Andy Randy, and board members, Ray Brantley, Larry Allen, David Miller, John Gertman, and Randy Smith. I also want to thank our principal, Greer Smith, our assistant principals, Doug Alexander and Sarah Beth Swain, and our athletic director, Roger Metz. But also, guys, we have a special support staff that helps us day in and day out. Our motivated mothers who help us with all of our meal needs and all of our program needs. Our Friday morning First Baptist Church men's ministry that has fed these young men for 4 straight years. Anyone who has donated or helped our school nutrition program when it comes to our football team, all the individuals that gave our Thursday night devotions, multiple physicians that have helped us throughout this year, Brent Merritt, who took over for Keith Ray, Alvin Merritt, and Johnny Bohannon, who have helped us out with our bus schedules, which, guys, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, you have no idea how stressful a bus schedule was this year. And Philip Worthington, who serves as our team chaplain. I also want to thank my football family. My wife, Lauren, been my high school sweetheart, and has been with me through a long time. And it's great to see how involved she is in this program. All of our coaches' wives, Jess Lawson, Ginger Brady, Carolee Williams, Caitlin Poole, Stephanie Rush, Macy Kilpatrick, and the significant others of all of our coaches. And the children of our coaches. You know, the most important thing to me, guys, is to be a good father. I grew up and didn't have one in my house. And the most special thing to me is when my 5-year-old Knox gets to come out to practice after school. But what makes that so special to me is that Knox doesn't want to be like anybody that plays on Sunday in the NFL. He doesn't want to be like anybody that plays on Saturdays in the SEC. What he wants to be are the guys that take the time to throw a football with him in practice. Or the guys that let him sit by him during team meals. And men, from our seniors down to our freshmen, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for the impact you have on not only my children, but all of our coaches' children. I want to thank our touchdown club officers, President Scotty Graham, Vice President Dooley Ray, Secretary Ashley Graham, our Treasurer Amber Aycock, and our 5th at-large member, Wendy Brewer. Thank you guys for everything you do. You work behind the scenes tirelessly, and this program wouldn't be where we are today without you. Thank you very much. And I want to thank our coaching staff, our head athletic trainer, Jeff Williams, our assistant head coach and recruiting coordinator, Brian Lawson, our defensive coordinator, Jay Brady, our 2 offensive coordinators, Austin Oliver and Isaiah Stevens, our special teams coordinator, Katie Poole, our JD head coach, Greg Nail, our academic coordinator, Tyler Williams, Defensive line coach Stan Rush, and our middle school head football coach, Coach Justin Kilpatrick. Our support staff, our video coordinator Logan Hughes, and the guy that kind of manages our sidelines, Dr. Cal Barnacle. As you guys can tell, there are a lot of moving parts that go into a football program and a football season. And personally, you know, I feel like I get way too much credit for this thing. It's about these kids and everybody's name that I've called. And once again, every one of you guys, I want to thank you so much for your belief in this program and for your belief in the JDHS community. So, normally this would be a time where we start hearing everybody snack on pork chops, but you know what? 2020 and 2021 has stood some curveballs, so we're going to get right into our award ceremony. Okay? What I'd like to do is I'd like to bring down our managers that are here, and I'd like to bring down our student support staff that are here. Coach Lawson, would you help me out by kind of presenting these as I call their names out? Okay, starting out with our managers, okay? First off, Kobe Beach. Second is Bryce Bohannon. 3 is Alex Brown. Carter Galvin. Hayden King. Jacob Lane. Fishman Syack. Ty Ray. Jace Sellers. Chaz Wood. Josh Worthington. And Jude Worthington. Come on down, guys. Guys, I really enjoyed these managers. From hearing Ty Ray tell stories about how he crushed kids in rec leagues and all-stars, to being able to hear, I don't know if you guys have the pleasure of knowing Alex Brown, but if you need a guy to take charge of your operation, Alex Brown is your man, okay? And they did a great job for us all year long. The next group of individuals we're going to present and honor tonight are our student trainers and student assistants. First up is Miss Gabby Dawson. Second, Miss Haley Hall. Mr. Noah Hernandez. Miss Kylie Hausman. Juliana Kirby. And Hannah Rich. So as Coach Lawson hands these things out, I want to just take just a moment to kind of talk about all the duties that these young people do for us, okay? Juliana and Gabby have both worked in our athletic training department. They work directly with Coach Weems. They've done everything from take players, guys that fill water coolers. They come to work every day, and I appreciate you for that. Everybody knows how active we are in our social media approach. And Kylie Hausman has been a huge part of that now for 3 years. And everything she does for us social media-wise. And finally, the last 3 names we call is this. Probably the hardest person to replace in this program since we've been here is Kelly McCoy and what he did technology-wise for us. And what Logan Hughes has done, Noah Hernandez, Haley Hall, and Hannah Rich, is they have taken the bull by the horns, and we have had a seamless technology transition. And guys, I'm telling you, our technology advancements have helped us win multiple games in our tenure here. It gives us a true advantage, and I can't thank you all enough for what you do. Turning it over now to our football player awards. We're going to call every young man up by name, and every young man on this football team will walk out that's important to me. Because everybody on this team, from the top to the bottom, had something to do with this football season. They were all very impactful. You know, a lot of times, guys, people, we think it's about touchdowns, or we think it's about accolades. But at the end of the day, it's about a team. And that's why we're going to give something to everybody on this team tonight. Presenting our freshman will be Coach Stan Rush, freshman. If you would walk right down in this hallway, we'll call you out alphabetically.
First player will be Lewis Baker. Kel Bradley. Logan Relo. Bodie Brewer. Wesley Brown. Gage Garland. Peyton Disroom. Kyle Dotson, Grayson Good, MJ Hankerson, Jackson McKitchen, Carter Mullis, Kevin Mussack, Hayden Pollard, Gregory, Brian Reyes, and Layton Barber. Let's give these guys a round of applause.
You know, a little something about this freshman class. Throughout our summer, you know, we normally try to make it very rigorous on people. We want to kind of find out what you're made of before the bullets start flying. And what we had to do this year is change that approach. You know, we worked out for 2 months in groups of 25. Socially distanced, all of those things. And it was hard for us to get to know each other. But what our freshmen have done is they have come in with a work-like attitude. And I truly believe this, they're going to be our type guys. You know, we got a old saying in this program, and I believe this, we got a couple of them in this group now that are tough and woodpecker lips. We got a couple of them that need to learn when you got a tummy ache, you can still go to practice. Okay? And overall, right, it was a learning curve. You know, we battled through injuries with the freshman class. We battled through asking some kids to do some things they weren't comfortable doing. But what they all are better than for. I'm proud of this freshman class, and I look forward to everything that's coming their way in the future. Next up, presenting our sophomores is a guy who was a fixture here. There's 3 things in Jeff Davis County that always happen: death, taxes, and gray bell yellow. Okay? So those 3 things are going to be here all the time. And presenting our sophomores tonight is going to be Coach Nate.
All right, guys. You look up your feet. I'll call the rest of y'all. Wasn't sure if I was going to make it because we're not serving food tonight. But I thought I might as well come on. These are pretty good guys. All right, our 10th grade. Turner Beckford. Terrence Clemens, William Grady, Ethan Griffin, Peyton Lane, Gio Marquez, Bryson Mann, Cheetos. I think that's the first time I've ever seen his real name. Marion Mitchell. Strawberry. There's nothing. We have to get that guys on the food. Gaines Buzz, Buffett, Lane Powell, Landon Lunch, Landon Barndor, and Ty Williams. Guys, we appreciate the work y'all put in. Thank you.
This sophomore class is relatively small in numbers. You know, some can say that this sophomore class is relatively small in stature. But one thing about this sophomore class I know is this sophomore class we have is going to give us everything they got every day. You go watch them on film, you go watch our sophomores that play right now, and you see exactly what I'm talking about. You see the way they practice. I had something happen with a sophomore this year that's never happened in my life. We're at practice one day, and an old boy pulls up and he goes, "Coach, listen, my mama just killed a deer. I got to go drag out of the woods. I promise I'm going to be right back. Can you please excuse me for being late today?" Okay? And that's the type of man, I respect that. If you're going to take care of your mama, I can always appreciate that. Okay? But that's what the sophomore class is made of. And yes, guys, he did come back to practice. And I appreciate that as well. I appreciate the sophomore class more than they know. More than they know. Moving on to our 11th graders, our juniors. At the closing of this ceremony tonight, we're going to follow seniors within this program. But announcing them first is a guy that's been with me since the beginning. Coach Isaiah Stevens. And I look forward to his insight on this junior class. Coach Stevens, come on, present. Come on out, juniors. Juniors, you feel stand in that hallway.
Introducing the student of the 11th grade class, starting with a high salary. Tyson Alls, Christopher Bryan, Trey Chandler, Maya Conway, Michael Dodson, Blake Eason, Kelvin Pennell, Matthew Glass, Blake Gruber, Nate Lewis, Oscar Marquez, Connor McClone, Angel Mendez, Curtis Morgan, CJ Parker, and Dalton Sellers. Please give me that round of applause for the 11th grade class.
Well, where do I start with a multifaceted junior class? The fact of the matter is this: we had to ask a lot of these young men to play maybe before they were ready. But what we promised this junior class from the time they got up here was this: if you're good enough to play, we're going to give you a chance to compete. We've had a lot of guys in this class that played a lot of football. the 17 names we call, there are 17 people who can be significant in this 2021 football team upcoming. We've got some selfless guys in this class. We've got guys that have had to battle through catastrophic injuries in this junior class. But one thing I can say about this junior class is this is one of the more tight-knit classes we've had since we've been here. They've ran together for a long time. I'm proud of this junior class. I'm proud of what they represent. I'm proud of who they are. And I look forward to seeing this book here in the near future turn into theirs. I'm proud of you guys. The last class that we'll present tonight will be our seniors. Guys, I got a couple of chapters I can talk about this senior class. We're not going to get into all the personal stuff. The fact is this, and this is true, 13. When we got here 4 years ago, I looked back at this the other day. There were 21 guys in that grade that came out as freshmen. There were 13 that finished. Now, the truth of the matter is this: football is a game that's hard. It doesn't come easy. There's a lot of things, and in a lot of ways, you have to sacrifice. And what I can tell you is this: as the first class that's been through with us for 4 years now, there is no class that has sacrificed more. But I truly believe that through their sacrifice is how we found the recipe for the success we had this year. Presenting our seniors is going to be another guy that's been with us from the beginning. Everybody knows he's kind of my right hand. He's the bullet to my bald head, Coach Brian Lawson.
Seniors, step on down, line up here for us. Just to add with Coach Elder, he said, there's not a group of young men that's more special to me that I've ever coached than these seniors. The ones that have been through for us and have helped get this program back to where it needs to be and in the right direction. First up, Adrian Alexander. Andrew Aycock. Skylar Eason. Chaston Gooch. Adio Placencia. Connor Rowe. Isaiah Robinson. Willie Skipper. Charles Sedal. Kay Walters. Austin Wood. James Wood. And Connor Work.
Within the senior class, we've had a bunch of guys that have had to play multiple positions in this class. We've also had a bunch of guys that had to come in and have multiple conversations with Coach Helton in this class. But that's okay too. I love this class with all my heart, and I mean that. You know, I keep going back to when we first got here in 2017. And what we had to do is we had to ask a young group of kids to come in and just believe in something that, you know, what we've done is this: the Lord has blessed us in our time here. But it was nothing to do with these adults. It's about that senior class that we just recognized. They're the ones that have won as many games as any senior class in this place's history. And guys, I continue to say this, and I mean this. You'll be talked about for years to come, and it's because of your work ethic and your belief, and I appreciate you for that. We're going to transition now into some individual honors, okay? And as we all know, this to me is a blessing, but a curse. I love the individual honors we give out, but to me, ultimately, this is a team game. Here's what I'm here to tell you guys. Whether your name is called tonight or not, you matter to this program. Whether you receive anything right here or not, you are a part of something that nothing can ever take it away from you. And I'm more appreciative of you for that than I am any award that could ever be given here tonight. First thing we're going to do is we're going to recognize our academic all-region candidates. So when we do this, guys, our academic all-region candidates have to play a certain percentage of snaps. This is not something that we pass a notebook around and put people's names down. They are a contributor on the field, and they are one of the two highest in their position academically within this region. So presenting our academic all-region will be Coach Tyler Williams.
Yeah, well, all right, guys. First up, highest, Allen. Tyson Alls. Matthew Glass. Ethan Griffin. Peyton Lane. Curtis Morgan. Connor Gray. Landon Robertson. And last but not least, Dalton Sellers. If you would, give all these men another round of applause.
Presenting our honorable mention all-region players. Be Coach Kenny Poole. Come on up, Coach.
Honorable mention, we have DB Terrence Clemens. Defensive line, Myon Conway. Wide receiver, Mike Dotson. Offensive line, Chaston Moves. Offensive line, Connor McCoy.
first off, both of these young men were vital parts to our offense as well as defense this year, but these two young men were both a spark to the offense per se. The first one is C.J. Parker, wide receiver. Our big tight end, locked for us a good bit this year, also caught a couple touchdowns back in class. These were your second team all region. Please give them a round of applause.
We'll throw y'all a small statistic out here. Matt has caught a few touchdowns in his career here, but here's what people don't know. He's caught all of his touchdowns off of this exact same play his entire life here. It's crazy. It's a little, we call it our Panther person, our Panther tempo, little burst, bootleg tight end, that glass. I mean, you can see, y'all just watch him from time to break the huddle. There's something different about the way he gets to the line when we run that. And you just know that Matt's about to catch a touchdown. So y'all just pay attention to that in the future. Okay? And to round off our all-region selections, and let me add, Jeff Davis High School led our entire region in all-region selection. And that's the first time that that's a testament to these young men's work ethic and a testament to their belief in what we do. And I'm very proud to be their coach. Right here, presenting our first team all-region players will be Coach Unsung.
To piggyback off what Coach Shelton said, each of these young men very deserving of this award. Really good dudes. I enjoy being around them. We're going to start off first team all-region running back, the highest out. First team offensive lineman, Andrew Hancock. First team offensive lineman, Nate Lewis. First team kicker, Audio Vicenci. First team DB, Willie Skipper. First team defensive line, Charles Seagal. First team quarterback, Hank Walton. First team linebacker, Austin Wood. And first team defensive line, James Wood. Let's give each of these young men a round of applause.
What a great honor in any capacity to be honored by the region coaches. You know, this is something that Coach Helton doesn't vote on. It's the other coaches in the region from all of these areas that are the ones voting on these young men. So, a great honor. We're going to close this thing out tonight with a few awards that are voted on within our program. And then we'll have some closing remarks, okay? But this is a very unique award that will be presented first. And our head athletic trainer, Jeff Williams, will present it.
Thank you, Coach Hilton. As always, it's a team approach to taking care of our athletes through the sports medicine program, and certainly, I play a small role in that. But really, without Dr. Kirkman Sunyak and his availability 24/7, it's just unmatched, and there's no way I can do what I do without you. So thank you so much. Along those same lines, Dr. Laney is also right there kind of standing in the gap as well. And Roger Owen plays an instrumental role with our EMS, and we met with him this year with Coach Shelton, and going over emergency management procedures. So just like in the game of football, there's a lot that goes into each week to make it happen. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that go on our side. Hopefully we never have to use, but they are there. Again, I can't thank everyone involved enough for that. So for my student note, though, Juliana Kirby was right there all summer long, all through the season. We had a really good talk beforehand about what she's going to see, what it's going to take. I hope I prepared her for what it was, but she did a fantastic job. Gabby Dawson's been with us a couple of years, and she does great work as well. So this year was, somewhat of a challenge. Every year is. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is that our guys really embraced when they were injured, that they weren't just ostracized and they had a role in the team. And Coach Shelton does an amazing job of bringing all these guys together and bringing us into a family. And from top to bottom, guys like Hunter Beckworth and Skylar Reeson, and many others that were injured throughout the year, of helping during practice, running water, doing the things that it takes to make practice and the season go. When you get to bigger schools, you have managers out the wazoo. When you go to colleges, they have student managers that are on scholarship to do those kinds of things. When we're in a smaller institution like Jeff Davis, we're fighting for bodies and we utilize those guys in that role. But the other piece of it is so that they do stay connected until they're able to go again. So I'm very, very thankful to you guys for your work there too. Certainly everybody knows we had a catastrophic injury this year. And if there's ever been, I always hate when guys get hurt. But if there's ever been a time that I can trade places, and take my good parts and give to this young man, I would have done it 10 times over. Because he deserved it. Connor Ray stood on the sideline for 3 years and waited for his chance. And when he got his chance, he shined like the sun that comes up every morning. And it was phenomenal to watch him pull that midline and run that touchdown. Because I know those 11 guys on the other side of the field never thought that little white boy could do that. But he did. And what happened to him was a travesty. But what he showed was the person that he is. And he was a shining example to every other person and student athlete in our programs of what it is to be a JDHS guy. We worked, and in the end, sadly, it wasn't in the cards for him to come back this season, football-wise, and take his place back where he was. But that doesn't diminish who he is and what he did. And somewhere down the line, that's going to pay dividends for him, and it's already paying dividends in our program because everybody else now has the example that they will forever be able to look and say, that's how I'm going to approach things. And I'm so very thankful for the opportunity to have played such a small role in that. I just can't let this moment pass without discussing that. I'm sorry if I'm putting my time with that. And promise I wouldn't cry like this. But having said all of that, we give out an award, or I give out an award each year called the Unsung Hero Award. And it's really for that guy who went through his injury and embraced the opportunity opportunity to help the other players and his teammates. And there was one young man that got hurt early on, and again, somebody else who has now set the example for what it is to be a selfless teammate and to serve your team in whatever capacity that you can participate. We could count on him from day one, from start to finish. There was never a question where he was, who we're going to have help today. He's always the first one right there in the line. And I pray that this will be the only year he has to ever do that. And he gets to get out there and run around and play football the rest of his career. But this player, Blake Gruber, did a phenomenal job in that role this year. And so he is our unsung hero award winner this year.
Presenting our Scout Team Offensive Player of the Year will be Coach Stan Rush.
It's my honor to present the Offensive Scout Team Award to a young man who has great work ethic. He comes to practice every day, knew he was going to get hit hard. But he comes every day, played a lot of positions, played the offensive line, played fullback, was also playing the receiver for us. But what he did was he made the defense better each week. The Offensive Scout Team Award goes to Ty Weaver.
Presenting our Scout Defensive Player of the Year will be Coach Justin Kilpatrick.
Just like Coach Russ just said, it's an honor to really present this award. Because at times, being on the scout team can kind of be perceived as a negative thing. But in reality, just like our coaching staff and everybody around us, is a very important thing, and we preach it every week. This young man, every day, just like Coach Russ said, took a beating, but he got up with a smile every time. And his work ethic was unmatched, and he grew as a player and as a person this year. Not only helped our offense get better, helped him get better as well as a player and as an individual. And to kind of, what Coach Elton said earlier, I don't think they ever found the deer. Bryson matters.
Presenting our Special Teams Player of the Year will be Coach Brian Austin.
This individual here not only made our special teams better in the kicking game, but also in our not kickoff, but our PATs, field goals, all those things. When we first got here, our kickoff style that we did forced our hand a little bit on field position. We averaged a 40-yard line, year one. Year two, we averaged a 36. And this individual 2 years ago, or last year, was able to get that down for us with about 3 or 4 touchbacks. This year for us, he had 32 touchbacks on 47 attempts. That's the tops in the region. On the top of the state in AA. That's 70%. He also was 33 for 36 on PAT attempts, 92% this season. 1 2-point conversion completed, a little toss pass up to him, got to him, and 1 month for 50 yards. Last year's start position was the 29-yard line for our defense. This year it got changed to the 23. Coach Craig used to talk about on every Sunday meeting about how our field position changed and how much it was. He could almost be the defensive MVP for us for how much he was kicking that night. But our special teams player of the year for Jeff Davis football is Adio Sensei.
Guys, the truth is we didn't kick it deep because all we have to put it in the end zone. The truth is I just got tired of Sandy Beecher asking me why we didn't kick it deep, so I just tried to stop having to talk to him. So y'all thank Sandy Beecher for us kicking it deep, okay? Introducing our trench player of the year is Coach Greg Day.
For those that are not football aficionados, being in the trench means you play offensive line. We get a lot of good markers, hogs, pigs, fat boys, big guys. You know, I never played quarterback. I know it's hard to tell. I just played point guard in basketball. 30 years I've been coaching, and all I've coached is offensive line, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I just was listening to these awards, and it kind of hit me while I was sitting there that every one of our offensive linemen that started this year got it all weekend. You know, I've been doing it, like I said, 30 years. I've had guys, or been on teams where one or two guys make it, but every one of them, guys, I'm going to call that awesome. It takes a lot to do what we do. We don't get the accolades, we don't get the names in the paper, the running back runs for 200 yards, everybody smashes, high fives and all this stuff, and nobody congratulates the lineman, but we know what it takes. This young man that gets this award, I can say a lot of good things about it. I can say a lot of bad things about it. But the thing is that he's what we call a dude. When you're playing this wing T offense, it's not kick slide, kick slide, kick slide. It's put your hand in the ground, pull, and knock the T totally. Y'all know, add your own word in there. This guy did a tremendous job of that. He has a great future ahead of him. He does things right. He'll have his education paid for him thanks to this game. Our true player of the year is Nate Lewis.
All right, presenting our offensive player of the year will be Coach Austin.
First, I'd like to mention our offense as a whole. Any guy that plays a snap of offense for us knows that there's not one person that makes that thing run the way it does. This year we had over 4,000 yards of total offense, averaged over 30 points a game. We even threw for almost 800 yards. Anyways, so it's hard to single out one guy and kind of take over our offense and make things work. But we've got one guy that's kind of our bell cow. He's a physical dude. He enjoys our offense and our system. He's also the first out-of-the-yard rusher we've had here in our tenure, Jeff Davis. Bring our offensive player of the year award to the highest out.
Presenting our defensive player of the year will be Coach Zach Craig.
First of all, I'd just like to thank you parents for letting us coach your kids. I know that we keep them late, we work them hard, we expect a lot out of them. And We just appreciate y'all giving us that time. Defensive Player of the Year. Kind of went to a lot of guys. I mean, we had a lot of guys have a lot of interceptions. I think we had 14 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, which is pretty good. Had, I guess, all together, the way we do our turnovers, we had about 54 turnovers. For that including 3 and outs, and 3 fumble recoveries. And with all that being said, you listen to this guy's stats, they aren't going to be overwhelming. You hear them, and you're going to say, well, it's not all the tackles he had. But my thing with that, if I've got a guy that's making 120 tackles in the season, he's on the field too long. He's on the field way too long. We don't want our defensive player of the year to have that tackles that be playing on the field. We want to give the ball to the offense. And this group did a really good job of that. With that being said, this guy, and where our defense works, guys, we all don't know. We call it building the wall. Everybody's got a responsibility. Our D-line is occupying guys, our linebackers are filling gaps. Everybody's got a gap control we're doing. Everybody has a responsibility there. And what we did, we gave this award, when I gave this award, we looked at the guy that's most consistent in doing his job. That person being, and I hope that a little bit about his stats, by the way. He was third on the team in tackles. He had 45 tackles. He had 11 total for loss. He had 1 sack. But not only did he do that, but he occupied people that we asked him to occupy. We had somebody that we needed to make a play, we were looking for him to do it, whether it was coming off the edge, coming underneath, or either taking out blockers. He did it all for us. And I'm looking really forward to seeing him play this year at the Western Carolina Academy. James Wood.
Presenting our two-way player of the year will be Coach Kate Poole.
Before I go into any stats on this kid, the coach helped me call me back in 2019, asking me if I wanted to come over here and come to JDHS Day. First thing I did, I was sitting in my classroom, I went to hub and started watching some film. And this kid was the first kid that stuck out to me because he was playing offense and defense and just had tons of highlights on these films, just flying around just like a banshee, like what we want our kids to do. Some of his stats about our two-way player is a guy that's played meaningful snaps offense and defensively throughout his entire career, especially this season. And this kid has played many snaps on both sides of the ball. Offensively, he had 79 rushes for 826 yards, 10 touchdowns, and he averaged just over 10.5 yards per carry. He had 6 receptions for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Coach was talking about how we don't want guys having 100-some tackles. This kid had 49 tackles and was second on the team. He had 2 interceptions on the year and 6 tackles for loss. This kid is a senior, excellent representation of JDHS football, playing both sides of the ball, and it is awesome.
All right, guys, hang in there with us. We just got a few more, okay? The next thing we're going to do is transition into our captains. These have been voted on, and these are the 3 young men that people feel like influenced our team the most throughout this 2020 season. Presenting our first captain will be Coach Jay Craig.
This next award, if there's any one young man that I feel like deserves this award, it's him. Coach talked a little bit about him earlier, and anyway, this young man was injured the first ball game of the year. He spent more time in the coach's office than I did. I really believe that, or as much time nearby as I did. Every time I would come in from class, he would be in there watching film. He was hurt, but he was watching film, getting ready for what he could do to help our team and to help us win, even though he wasn't playing tonight. And it's something that when you think of a captain, it's the person that's going to guide the ship. And he wasn't on the field, but he was guiding the ship. We appreciate it. Tom Irving.
Presenting our second captain will be Coach Isaiah Stevens.
At this time, I'll be presenting the Captain Award. This young man, as soon as he stepped on the field, he was very hard to miss due to his level of play and also his size. You never had to question his dedication to this football team. I've had the pleasure of witnessing this young man for the last 4 years. His total commitment and buy-in to this football team has been unmatched. He is truly a trench player for us. He played both sides of the football. He didn't become a starter until his senior year, but he never stopped trying. Throughout his football career, he gave it everything he had. He showed up on time, never had any discipline issues. He was a very much so a team player for this football team. And his level of success has played out for him. He's committed to play football at the next level to Valdosta State. Our captain of this year's football team goes to Charles Mccoy.
Presenting our last captain award will be Coach Tyler Williams.
I really don't know where to start with this kid. Coach, I've seen this class being a coach with these guys in middle school. And I've seen all of these guys grow to the young men they are. And this kid specifically is a kid that shows up each and every day. And there's not a kid out there that matches his effort and intensity when we're out there on the field. And not a better leader on the field football player than this guy here. He exemplifies what we expect out of our young men, and I'm excited to see this kid go on and play at the next level as well. And I can tell you, there's not a kid that I hate to lose as much as I like to see this young man go on and do something special for himself. The last captain award goes to James Wood.
All right, guys, we've got 2 awards left. I'll be presenting this next award. It is our Fall Cook Award. What we've kind of referenced as our Catch-All Award since we've been here at Jeff Davis. This guy, historically, is not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but what he does is he exemplifies everything our coach stands for between the lines. He gives all he has of what he's got. And this kid has done that for us his entire career. From an undersized freshman to a rugged sophomore, and this year in game 2 had to step into something that was extremely difficult. But what I felt like he did was I thought he rallied our troops, and I thought he did a good job of what we asked him to do. And there's not been a kid since we've been here that loves or cares about Jeff Davis football more than this young man. Our Fall Cook Award this year goes to Kate Walters. All right, guys, so we're going to end this thing with one more award that's for closing remarks, okay? And let me keep reminding everybody, tonight's not about individual accolades. We're here to celebrate the 4th best football team in Jeff Davis football history. That's what we're here to celebrate. This is the most meaningful award there is for me. Everybody's heard this story multiple times. But I am at Jeff Davis because of Coach Neil Gray. First time I met Neil, I was the O-line coach at Coffee High School, and Neil was battling stage 4 cancer. He coached from a golf player today. They were letting Tart down. They separated him from that football team. He never missed a day. He had treatments, and he was always there to coach, day in and day out. And when I left Coffee and I went back to Dublin a few years later, this job opened up. A guy named Randy Garrett called me and he said, "You need to apply for this job. It fits." This was one that Neil had and did a great job with. And as I came and as I got involved back in the program, one of my highlights personally is getting the Graham family back involved in Jeff Davis football. Neil left here many years ago, and what is one of the most special things to me is the first 2 people outside of my wife that came and spoke to me when we broke that playoff streak in 2017 was a guy named Scotty Graham and his father. In memory of Neil's passing for many years, Scotty and his dad gave him a Memorial Scholarship out at his honor at Coffee County High School. And in 2017, he came to me and he said, "I want to move it back home." This is the most special award we have in this program, in my opinion. And to present the Neil Graham Memorial Scholarship Fund tonight and the award is our Touchdown Club president, Scotty Gray. Come on, Scotty.
Well, he made me cry, so I was just going to tell him I start moving with this one. This county has always been known to produce many good young men each year in this football program. The senior class always has a lot of guys that are worthy of this award. This year was no different. There were several guys that are worthy of this award. But there was one that just stood out. After the game in Jefferson County, in the pouring down rain, as we all remember, me and Ashley got in the car. And I said, "Okay, season's coming to an end. I'm going to count to 3, and you say out loud who you think should get the scholarship and the award." And we said it at the same time. It was because we hadn't talked about it all year, but we both said the name together and both said the exact same name. But this young man, as I watched him throughout the season, the way he carried himself, the character, the class he showed, messed up on the field, he was the first one to go to him. And he would grab him out of the jersey and he'd shoot him out. And they would listen to him. And he showed me that if he wants to ever be a coach, he's going to be a good one. It is our honor to present this year's Coach Hildebrand Scholarship Award to Connor Ray.
Also, guys, going up in our field house will be since 2017. There'll be a plaque to commemorate each one of our Neil Gray Scholarship Honor recipients. Now, guys, let me go back to a few things, right? There's some of us that are really proud of the award tonight. There's some of us that feel slighted. Let me once again make this clear. We're here to celebrate this football team. What each one of you sacrificed, what each one of you went through, what each one of you allowed us to become. And I'm ever grateful for what you mean to us. A few closing remarks. We've had 3 Jeff Davis football seniors sign football scholarships thus far this year. Absolutely. We're going to have another one signed Wednesday at 3 o'clock in the auditorium. We've had 2 Jeff Davis football players represent this county in national all-star games this offseason thus far. Parents, a few things we continue to learn. Urge your young men to take their academics seriously as freshmen and sophomores. It'll carry. We're in a new phase now, guys, where people want these early enrollees. And that's a doable thing if you'll take your academics seriously at a young age. Parents, I urge you to make sure your athletes are participating and pursuing standardized testing journeys. Young men, have a laser-like academic focus. That goes for my guys who will never put a helmet on again. Finish this thing strong and graduate with pride. All of our guys returning. Don't put yourself in limbo from an eligibility standpoint. Your GPA opens many doors to many opportunities. I continue to look forward to the future here at Jeff Davis. Make no mistake, 2021 seniors, we're going to follow the path that you've laid for the last 4 years. And I'm going to continue to challenge our upcoming 2021 football team to blaze their own great path. Don't be satisfied. Be hungry for more. I want to make this clear. The days of us being excited about a 4 seed are unacceptable. It's about more. It's about challenging ourselves. Being a state playoff contender year in, year out is what we are supposed to do here. I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting this football team. I want to thank all the parents, especially these young men who've been with us for 4 years. Thank you for trusting us. A lot of you guys, we have personal cell phone numbers we exchange, and I hope that you can lay your head down tonight and understand we care more about your kids than winning and losing. It's not the most important thing to us. I hope everyone has a fantastic second semester. And please remember, when you're wearing navy, you're as good as gold. Thank you for putting pride back in this place. I want you all to have a great night. I want you all to also know this is, y'all mark this down now. This may be the quickest award ceremony ever. Mark it down. Have a great night. Great to see each and every one of you.
Good. No, yeah. I was about to, and